We are a culmination of events, environments, people, places, things that have led up to who we are today. I've got my cup of tea, got my bushy hair. Kings and queens, and welcome back to the Art of Life and Love. I have not said that in such a long time, and it feels amazing to be back. Like, I've only just pressed play and I feel like I'm gonna cry. Since I last saw you guys, honestly, so much has changed. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Joanna. I am an intuitive, I'm a mental health advocate, I'm on a spiritual journey, which you guys have been on with me. But I'm also, this channel is a space for growth, and in every way. Your spiritual growth, your physical growth, your mental health, your emotional health. All of the videos that I put out here, everything that I'm doing, every bit of my journey that I'm sharing is so that we can grow. Because that's the point, you know? That's the main point of life, is to grow, is to experience things that expand our horizons, that expand who we know ourselves to be, and it's to grow. And that's what this channel is. And for me, you know, as you can see now, I'm in a new space. I've got myself a new bae. Say hi, Rosie. That's my boyfriend's cat, my new step baby, Rosie, who is the sweetest, softest little angel. Yes, yes. And she's my unwilling guest in today's video. Sponsored by Rosie. But welcome everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Art of Life and Love. I have a blog of the same name, also a Twitter of the same name. You can find all of my social medias, all of my blog links, everything down below. Today's video, I wanted to sit down as my first video back in my new home with my new sense of inspiration, my new sense of direction in life. I kind of wanted to sit down and just let you guys know the kind of epiphanies that I've had in terms of my therapy sessions. So first of all, I know that being able to go to therapy is a really privileged thing, and I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity, so grateful that I've, you know, been given the experience, been given the help. And I acknowledge that not everyone can afford therapy, not everyone can go to therapy, and that's okay. But when I started this new job, they have corporate perks, and I was able to get free psychotherapy. And I've been able to go in and have sessions. I was given 10 free sessions, and I'm nearing the end of them now. I'm not sure if I'll continue with therapy or if I will, you know, see if I can apply the lessons I've learned. But I really did want to just sit down and share with you guys some of the lessons that I personally have learned from going to therapy once a week, every week for about 10 weeks. One of the main lessons I have learned going to therapy, and that's been reinforced by my therapist every time I go, is how strong I am. And by I am, I mean we are. If you watching this have suffered from depression or are suffering from depression, anxiety, any sort of mental health issue or illness, if you are suffering or have suffered any sort of traumatic events in your life, which I'm guessing will be a high volume of you watching this, then just know that you are so strong. And it's such a simple message to give, but it really, until you hear someone listen to everything that you have gone through and everything that you have experienced and turn around and say to you, you are so strong. It's not something that really you think about, something that registers. It's such a simple statement. You are strong. To have survived what you have gone through, to have endured what you have gone through, your resiliency, your strength, the ability and the desire to keep on going, to keep living. Do not underestimate that. Do not underestimate your power or your strength. And that is a big lesson that thankfully has been imparted upon me and has been shown to me during my sessions is that what I've gone through is not normal. Is the things that I've gone through have been highly traumatic, and the fact that I've been able to weather every single storm that I've gone through means that I am so strong. And I'm really grateful for that one simple message, and I really want to impart that upon you. You are so strong for carrying everything that you are carrying. You are so resilient and you are so powerful. Don't let anyone ever take that away from you. That's my first kind of lesson that I learned from therapy. The second thing that therapy really opened my eyes to is really how important your childhood is and how much your childhood really does affect your adult life. We all know that our childhoods have a heavy impact upon our adult lives, but until you go to therapy and it is unpicked and unpacked in front of you, and the actual links are made between when this thing happened in your childhood and how you behave in this way when you're an adult, is so profound, so profound. It goes from being just a concept to being something that you can actually unpick and understand and link to your behaviors in adult life. My childhood had such a huge impact upon my emotional maturity specifically. How I display and show affection, how I receive affection and love, how my behaviors are linked to rage. How in some ways anger and silence were the only things that I learnt from my parents. They're the only ways that I learnt to express myself, which would explain why I have a tendency to be very passive aggressive, and why, especially in my teenage years, I had a real tendency to just be so angry and jealous and possessive and resistant to change. And that's such a profound way to think. We are not isolated beings. We are a culmination of events, environments, people, places, things that have led up to who we are today. And until you realize that, you will literally be living your life on autopilot, which I was for a very long time, living in the same patterns and behaviors and toxicity and thinking that you are completely normal and fine and okay, when really you have an inner child inside of you that is just rebelling and controlling you. And really the link, it does pay to look into your childhood, to unpick where your behaviors have come from. So that was a really profound message for me as well. And leading on from the whole your childhood affects your adulthood aspect, your needs, if your needs were not met in childhood, that will have a huge link to your adulthood in terms of how you express yourself and how you want your needs to be met. But another side of that, when I go to therapy and it's reinforced to me that my needs are important, highly important. My needs matter. My needs deserve to be met. Your needs deserve to be met no matter what those needs are. And if they're not being met, then you need to understand why not. You need to understand how you can get them met. And that's really important. Your needs are so important. And a lot of the reason the reason why a lot of us feel unfulfilled, unloved, unlovable, is because our needs were not met in childhood, and potentially our needs are still not being met. And because they weren't met in childhood, we don't even understand that need needs to be met in the first place. And I get that I'm speaking in riddles right now, but I'm hoping that I make sense. You guys who've watched many of my videos before know that I just ramble, and it's all just coming off the top of my head right now, so sorry. But that's a huge one. My needs deserve to be met. My needs are important, and my needs need to be met in order for me to feel fulfilled and feel like I'm happy and feel like I'm growing. Another thing that therapy has highlighted for me, and it's, a lot of these things are things we already know, but until you go to therapy and it's unpicked right in front of you and it's kind of driven home, the message, you don't really get it. But another lesson that I've learned is that I have absolutely no control over other people. None. I have as much control over other people as I do Rosie. Huh, Rosie? Wake up, wake up. She's not gonna wake up. I can't control Rosie. I can't control my boyfriend. I can't control my parents or my siblings or my friends or even the people at work, the people that walk past me in the street. I can't control them, and not only that, but I have no right to. I have absolutely no right to control anyone else. I have no right to put words in their mouth. I have no right to put, to think that I know what they're thinking or how they're gonna respond or what they think towards me. The only constant and the only thing that I can control in this life is me. Me, how I behave, how I react, how I speak to people, how I speak to myself, what I do for myself, what I do for others. Anything outside of that is beyond my control. And if you spend your whole life trying to control everything around you, trying to control every little bit and aspect of your life, your relationships, your romances, your whatever, right? You will fail and then you will feel like a failure. When really it's not your job to control other people, it's not your responsibility, and it's not your right. So there we go, there's that one. Another message that may hit home for some of you is one that we, again, all know, but it's until you are told it by someone else, it's until it's drilled into you by someone else, that you understand that I do not and did not deserve the bad things that have happened to me. And especially in the kind of culture we're in, where it's very much, you manifest your tribe, you manifest your energy, you manifest everything that's happened to you in this life. You've chosen everything that's going to happen to you in this life, yada, yada, yada. No matter what you hear, no matter what anyone tells you, you did not deserve or do not deserve the bad things that have happened in your life. You do not deserve to suffer. You do not deserve to be taken advantage of. You do not deserve to feel unsafe at any point, any time, and especially not within your own home. And that, that kind of reinforced thinking of maybe I deserve this, maybe my past life karma is coming back to haunt me. Maybe my ancestral karma has come back to haunt me. Maybe I need to go through these things to learn these lessons. And to some extent, the bad things that happen to us in this life do teach us things, obviously. Obviously, if you go through a traumatic event, you are going to learn something about the situation and about yourself. That doesn't mean that you deserved to suffer like that at all. And once again, until that is reaffirmed to you, it's something that a lot of us hold as a self-limiting belief as well, that we deserve the bad things that are happening to us, that we don't deserve good things, that we don't deserve the life that we want because we have to work through all of this stuff to reach that. But you didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve it. You did not deserve it. And neither did I. One concept actually that my therapist brought forward to me is something that was quite pivotal in trying to understand why it was so difficult to break out of certain behaviors, roles, environments, etc. And it's the idea of hooked behaviors. So every one of us has hooked behaviors. These are the behaviors that we fall back upon when things get rough. We fall back upon them when, we're tired, when we're tired of growing and trying to change, when we are, reeled back in as well to certain situations or even to certain people. And for example, hooked behaviors are grabbing a chocolate bar every time you go to the shops, just because that's what you always do and have always done. And I'm specifically choosing something that's quite trivial because I, A, don't want to trigger anyone, and B, you'll know exactly what your hooked behaviors are. They are the behaviors that you keep falling back upon because they feel comfortable, because they feel safe, because they feel familiar. And these are the behaviors that are keeping you hooked, hooked to that certain someone, to that certain situation, to that certain way of behaving. For example, one of my hooked behaviors is extreme defensiveness, as I have been told many times by my boyfriend after moving in together. And it is something that I've really had to work on. You know, if something is brought up to me, my hooked behavior is to just be like, why are they attacking me? I've done nothing wrong. When in reality, I did leave the cupboard door open. I'm sorry, honey. You know, it's my hooked behaviors are very deep, and you know, I don't claim to be completely free of them yet, but awareness is so key. As soon as you become aware of your behaviors, of your hooked behaviors, it becomes that much easier to unhook yourself, to choose to walk in the other direction instead of walking the path you have always walked just because it's right there in front of you. So hooked behaviors, like I could go into it in more detail. I might make another video. It might be worth Googling it, what they are and how you can kind of try and unhook yourself. But that was a concept that's introduced to me by my therapist that has been really beneficial, not just for my personal growth, but also for my relationship growth. The last thing that therapy has taught me, and probably the most pivotal thing that therapy has taught me, is that I am entirely capable of change. I am capable of change, and so are you. I am and was the most hard-headed, stubborn, selfish, in my own head all the time person, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that, especially with COVID, you know, forcing us into our heads for the last year and a half with the repeated lockdowns and things like that. It can be very easy for your walls to kind of close in on you, for your world to be the four walls that you've been contained in, for society's rules to be the box that you've been contained in. And it can be very easy, especially even if you've gone through therapy, to be like, well, as a child this happened to me and that's why I'm like this, and you just have to deal with it. Or sometimes, like, I fall back, you know, I'm a Sagittarius, you gotta let me be free, I'm just like this, you can't contain me. Or I'm a Gemini rising, I just talk my face off, you can't stop me, I'm not gonna shut up for anyone. And it can be so easy to be like, this is me, this is who I am immovable, unchangeable. There's no way that I can change my behaviors because they're just too strong, they're just who I am. That's one that people love to do. I used to love to do. That's just how I am. You either accept me or you don't. When in reality, to get to this point, you had to go through so many changes. Just to be the person I am right now, I had to change every step of the way. Every step. And what therapy has taught me is that that change doesn't have to be unconscious. I am entirely capable of conscious change. Every single one of us, no matter what age, no matter what you've been through in life, no matter who you are, where you are, what you've been through, every single one of us is capable of change. And that's the message of hope that I want to leave you guys with. You are entirely capable of changing your outlook on life and who you are. You get to determine who you are. It's not determined by your therapist or your best friend or your boyfriend or your parents or your siblings or the people who've always had this fixed view of who you are and who you will always be. That they don't determine who you actually are. You get to wake up one morning and decide to yourself, I want to change. I want to be better for me. For me, I want to be better. I want to change the way that I react and interact with the world and my loved ones. I want to change my outlook on life and how I see myself, how I see the outside world through my eyes, how I relate to other people. And that is really inspiring, and it's something that I want to share with you guys, whether or not you're able to go to therapy. And oh my gosh, she's doing the cutest thing. I love it when she does that. I can literally stare at her all day. She just does this. So cute. You're capable of change, Rosie. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, that it's been beneficial to you. I'm glad to be back. I'm hoping to make more videos, but obviously I'm not going to commit to weekly videos anymore. I really am just going to film videos when I feel like I have something to share. You know, and I just want to share my life with you guys. I want to share my journey, and I want to inspire you to grow. That's why I have this channel, that's why I have this blog, that's why I have my Twitter account, my Instagram, everything. It's because I want to inspire others to grow, because I know that it's possible. Even though the past year and a half has told us that maybe it isn't, it is. It's entirely possible, and growth is exciting, you know? So with that, my loves, I will love you and leave you. If you have enjoyed this video, please go ahead and press that thumbs up button. Go ahead, comment down below something maybe that therapy has taught you or that you've learned from the past year and a half. Please go ahead and subscribe to my videos. I'll be releasing them, you know, every now and then. So if you want to know when I have a new video out, also go ahead and press that notification button, because then as soon as I release the video, you'll get a notification on your phone and you can watch me do my thing. I've had fun filming this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at my beautiful mascot Rosie, and I hope that you guys have an amazing mental health week. Bye.